Well, iSTEM stands for Integrated STEM, integrating STEM into non-STEM curriculum. Right now, STEM is such a hot field. I mean, from an instructional standpoint, from a workforce standpoint, but so often kids' exposure to STEM discipline and STEM skills happen in your science, technology, engineering, and mathematics classrooms. Well, some kids are naturally not drawn to those classes, but the truth is, these skills are interdisciplinary and they transcend the classroom. So the goal of the program is to use GIS technology as a bridge to bring workforce relevant skills and hot science technology skills into the history classroom, the language arts classroom, and in a way we're smuggling it in. And so the kid who traditionally would not have been drawn to a STEM skill or course is drawn to it, and they learn some critical skills. Well, that's the beautiful thing about geographical information systems. I mean, nearly every discipline has a spatial component to it. Language arts has setting. History didn't just happen out there, it happened somewhere. Science, I mean, all the connections there. Drama has setting and scene. So GIS serves really as a bridge to that, and it's also a really hot topic. It's been ranked anywhere from the 3rd to 5th industry of need in our country. And they're critical skills. They're using database management, they're using mathematics, they're using Boolean logic and queries. And so often kids think of that and they think, oh, that's information science or computer engineering or computer science. But the truth is it's 21st century scholarship. That's where scholarship is going. And so it might be a historian or a kid who loves history and they learn these skills and next thing you know, they're your 21st century leading digital historian. Or it's how do you bring a fictional book alive by having kids map out the scene? What kind of deeper understanding do they get by having to collect the information, massage the information, and then create data or create maps with it? Instead of being a kid who has to consume the information, we're teaching them how to be the generators of their own knowledge. So I think that to me is the power of it. And so with this program, we realized that there is a need in the humanities and in the history to bring in these skills, and there's a shortage of workers. And we're probably missing some kids because we're putting so much emphasis on making our science, technology, and mathematics classes so much beefier, but you're still just preaching to the choir. The same kids are coming in that door. You can get the bigger, cooler computer, and your computer kids are going to love it, but you haven't connected with your kid who loves literature, your kid who loves drama, or your kid who loves history. But at the end of the day, where do you see the most maps being used in a classroom? It's your social studies classroom. Yeah, well, the idea behind the book is that we've trained 10 teachers of a number of disciplines on how to use GIS in the classroom and all the different skills to it. And the idea is to start to introduce this technology at a younger age. So this is targeted to a middle school curriculum as an elective class, or even as an opportunity to just have a taste of GIS and insert it or push in certain places throughout 3 years in middle school. The impact we hope is that we're going to change the way teachers and students think about data tables, think about information, and think about infographics. To let them to start to develop this skill in a way, maybe it will replace PowerPoint. Right now we have so many kids, PowerPoint, I need a presentation, I'll make a PowerPoint. Maybe a kid's doing a project and they're like, man, how could we show this? Like, well, we could map that. Or what if we map it and let's see if what we're hypothesizing actually shows up. And we have seen that in some classes where a student, a great example was doing a paper on the Falkland War. Instead of writing a paper, he created a beautiful map that analyzed the Falkland War and looked at the range of missiles. And instead of delivering a paper, he delivered this map that tells the same story that 10 pages would tell in a 30-second infographic. And the teacher who saw it was very impressed. And I will say from my own experience teaching GIS, I have teachers now saying, hey, could you come in and teach me how to have my kids making these maps? Because they see that it's a skill that's not going away. We see it in MapQuest, we see it in Google Earth, we see it in all the times you swipe that little card at Kroger. They're collecting data on you and they know where to send that catalog, and it's the age that our kids are going to be entering into. There are a couple of them. One is they hear the word geographic information system and they immediately think it is high tech. And it is, but really the thinking and the use of the tools are pretty simple. At the bare bones minimum, it's Excel and a map. That's what's driving it. And I'll ask a teacher, do you know Excel? They're like, yeah, look, then you can do GIS. Rather than sitting there and spending all this time trying to put dots on a map, I can show you you can use Google Forms and you can have kids collaborate and map an entire war in an hour. I was working with a group of librarians one time and they wanted to geotag a lot of their images that were sitting in a digital collection. A team of them digitized half of it in an hour by creating a Google spreadsheet. We then used that spreadsheet to say plot it based on latitude and longitude and make a map of it. At the end, they had a map to show where all the images in their collection are located. Now you don't have to go in and type in a location. You just look at the map and say, I want to know what images are located near where my grandfather grew up. Well, I don't know exactly where he lived, but I know he lived in this area. Before, you'd have to know the address, maybe the zip code, and work your way down. That's the beauty of it. It's literally an Excel spreadsheet interacting with this technology, and we're already using Excel.